Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. The three, steps back, crossover, puts up a three. Rebound James. Second. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Good evening, Cavs fans, and welcome to another installment of the Block the Shot to Stop, a Cleveland Cavaliers podcast where we discuss a team that just swept the Miami Heat and did it tonight in extremely impressive fashion. I'm Tim Daniel, he's Skylar Webker, and we are now on to round two. We are on to the conference semifinals. As tonight, the Cleveland Cavaliers close out the Miami Heat in Dade County, 138-83. Skylar, I mean, simply put, I think we all knew this was coming. I don't know if we knew it was coming to this extent, but man, just straight up domination. Any way you want to cut it, any way you would look at it, and holy mackerel, what a freaking game by the Cavs tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of said this in the beginning of the year. There were a few games like this, but this was a belt to ass game. I mean, I think a lot of it came from the comments or Tyler Hero's comments after the last game or today, whichever, I forget when they came out, but basically said like, oh, they're not a good defense. We can expose them. They held Tyler Hero to 4 points tonight in 31 minutes.
Yeah. Just simply dominant. I mean, yeah, man, between that and the whole Darius Garland thing, when he's like, guys who don't play defense should talk about people who play defense. And I was like, buddy, you don't play defense either. All that being said, I have all the respect in the world for the Miami Heat organization and what they've accomplished. This makes the play-in look bad. It really makes it look unnecessary. This and then Memphis and the OKC series really makes it look unnecessary. I mean, Orlando's doing their thing. They're playing close games with Boston. But they're down 3-1 now. So it's not looking like it's not looking good. For every Miami Heat and Los Angeles Lakers of a couple of years ago, there are these. Let's kind of get to the game real quick. We'll start the first quarter from jump, a 43-17 advantage. And it looked like from beginning that Miami wanted to be anywhere else than here. It looked like they just were like, oh, all right, let's just, our good friend Evan Damerel put a tweet out. He said, do they say 1-2-3 Miami because they're already there instead of 1-2-3 Cancun? How does that work for them? And I thought that was pretty funny. Second half, keep it going. Miami scored 33 points combined in the first half. 33 points. And if you watch the game, it certainly looked everything of a 33-point offense from a team in the playoffs. So.
Oh my gosh, they couldn't. I mean, the Cavs were causing turnovers. They were battling for the rebounds. They were dominating on every single kind of stat box on up and down. The Heat had no chance. I mean, they during the halftime, since this was on TNT, the Kenny and the crew were talking about like. They were like, these guys got to have their bags packed. They're ready to go wherever. Yeah. And they're like, well, they live in Miami, so maybe they're not going anywhere. And Chuck's like, no, if you get absolutely just your teeth kicked in like this, you cannot stay in town. You got to leave.
Yeah, you got to go. Yeah.
The crew did a good job for the pregame and the halftime show, especially the halftime show. They made it pretty entertaining about like, we can quit if they quit, right?
Yeah, I watched the first half. I watched the Cavs broadcast. I watched John and Brad, and Serena's interviewing Jarrett at halftime, and he's like, we just wanted to make sure we were up 3-0. He's like, we just wanted to make sure we took care of business and didn't give him a chance. And she's like, you have 6 steals in the first half. It's your career high already. And he kind of like looks like shocked. By the way, Jarrett Allen tonight, +42. So there was that. And then the third quarter. Cavs have another Cavaliers scoring 39 points. They quit playing defense at this point because it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Miami scores 30. And then the fourth quarter, all the bench guys got in there. Javonte Green had some nice dunks there. Jalen Tyson's hitting threes. Isaac Okoro's getting some open shots. Craig Porter Jr. is getting playoff action. And yeah, Sydney says it here that even though it was the reserves coming in and it was a blowout game, those guys still fought hard and played till the end, and they did their thing. So pretty
Especially
exciting.
When they came in, because they came in about halfway through the third quarter. That's when Kenny pulled all the guys. And so they were coming in and they were playing Miami starters. They were playing Bam and Duncan Robinson and Davion Mitchell out there. And they were still, they were putting up good efforts, good shots. They were moving the ball really well. And that never stopped. That went all the way through. They had to lead up to 60 at one point.
Yeah, so they just missed having the biggest victory in postseason history. 59 is that was the highest.
Oh, what did they finish? 58?
Yeah. 138, 83. No, 55.
55.
Yeah, 55.
Damn.
Yeah, so to summarize, only one game in the series was close, and that was game 2, wherein Cleveland basically just kind of looked like they were sleepwalking at times. That was a 121. 112, 55. Yeah, Sydney had it there. So they win game 1, 121-100. Win game 2, 121-112. Win game 3, 124-87. And win game 4, 138-83. I don't have it in front of me for proof, but I have to imagine that is high on the list and the biggest scoring differential of a 4-game postseason set ever.
Oh, it has to. I mean, I don't really know of a postseason team that averaged 120 points through all games of the first round.
Donovan Mitchell in the first round, 23.8 points per game, 3.2 rebounds, 4 assists.
That's pretty crazy, especially because he kind of did not play well last game. He did not have a good game last game, and they still had a dominant win because everybody else played so well. So it's crazy that with Donovan not being as sharp as he was, and with Darius Garland missing the last 2 games, I mean, it's got to be demoralizing to be Miami right now, which, to be honest, I'm sure they're demoralized from their entire season.
Yeah,
kind of
it's been a year.
Start with high hopes, have the Jimmy Butler drama, make this trade, don't get any better, flounder all the way to the 10 seed of the play-in. So it's
have to play in overtime to like clinch your playoff spot, and then go to
Yes.
Cleveland 2 days later.
Yeah, so it's just not a good season for Miami. I'm sure Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley are not very happy about it, but that's why they're Miami. They're always going to find some way to kind of be in the mix next year, no matter what they do.
Further breakdown of the series. So in the 4 games, the Cavs averaged 122 points a game to Miami's 99.7. The Cavs averaged 40.7 rebounds a game to Miami's 34.7. That's pretty close. Assists are pretty close as well. 25.7 on Cleveland, 22.7 on Miami. Steals a game, Cleveland 8.3, Miami 4.7. Turnovers a game, Cleveland 9.3, Miami 15.
Damn.
Yeah. Shooting wise was actually really close minus free throws. Cleveland 51%, Miami 48% from 3. Cleveland 43%, Miami 41%. But free throws was a big difference. So just domination, kind of what you expected. And for an 8 seed going against a title contender, an 8 seed who just had a really, like you said, miserable season, trying to put it all together. But yeah, so we go on, we move on, we advance, we have some fun. Talk about some players tonight, and we'll start with Mitchell. 22 points tonight, 5 assists, 8 of 15 shooting, 4 of 8 from 3. Knew it was a special day. It was a chance to sweep. It was a chance to clinch, and he did his damn thing to make sure that was not an issue from Jump Street.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell, I mean, he led the team, and not in any specific stat or anything like that, although he did score the most. But when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys scoring double figures, and one of them's Javonte Green, it's is it telling on the stat or the game as a whole. Jarrett Allen is the one that, to me, by a far and beyond, like, prevented this game from going anywhere. He was perfect from the floor, 5 for 5.
Don't bury the lead yet. Jesus, we got to build up to it.
Sorry.
God, Jesus, Skyler. Like, man, what do you think we're going to use for cuts later? I was going to be like the big lead off before we get to the next round. Kids.
Well, sorry, I'm getting excited. I mean, the guy went 5
fine.
for 5.
We'll just do it now because Skyler couldn't wait.
Well, we're gonna get to the usuals. We're gonna get to the Evan Mobleys. We're gonna get to the Ty Jeromes. We're gonna get there. But 5 for 5, perfect from the floor, perfect from the line, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 steals.
6 steals.
I mean, what more do you need from the guy?
Mind you, his defensive player of the year is sitting right next to him.
Right.
Yeah.
And who also had a fantastic game. So that's we'll lead to that. But I mean, he held Bam to 13 points, still got 12 rebounds, but really held him down on the scoring front. Especially played, 8 less minutes than Bam?
Yep.
So that's pretty impressive for him to get those stats so quickly. And it's probably a lot of it skewed because of the garbage time as far as the minutes portion and probably the plus minus portion. But the game, like you say all the time, they also have an NBA patch on their jersey.
Yeah, I heard you use it on Late Night Reds last night. I was very proud of you.
Hell yeah, that's like the best. That's the best thing, right? The wins count. They are a professional team. They count all the same.
I was very proud that you used it. I was like, yes, it spreads. It spreads. Yeah. So do we go Mobley? You want to go to the bench guys first? What do you want to do here?
Let's go to.
Let's step by city before we move on. Second playoff sweep to average a 30-plus point differential. The 86 Lakers won by 31.7 over the Spurs, while the Cavaliers averaged 30.5. That 86 Bulls Spurs team is the first year that they didn't have George Gervin. So, yeah, probably not a very good Spurs team, I assume. That might have been the Sven Nader era.
This is before me, man. This is before I was on Earth, and
I mean, I was too. Same here, but
I'm not a old school net like you.
You don't have to be. I'm not making you. So, all right, let's talk about Mobley. Just let's have some fun. Let's keep it going. 17 and 7 tonight. 2 blocks, 2 threes, and looked unstoppable. Like you said, had a great game. Just kind of did whatever the hell he wanted tonight. It looked like it stretches. So you mentioned Bam and Allen were kind of matched up majority of this game. They used a lot of like Kello Ware to try to guard Mobley, and give the kid credit. He tried, but just too much, man. Mobley just could do everything he wanted there. And John and Brad were talking about it too, because the conversation we kind of keep having where this is nowhere near the peak of Evan Mobley. This is only going to get better and better. So come next postseason, God only knows what he's doing at that point. But tonight, just absolutely tremendous on all facets of the game. Didn't need to have his typical blocks and steals, his stocks, as the kids call it, steals plus blocks. Didn't need to have his typical when Jarrett Allen's kind of taking care of business on that end.
Yeah, I keep thinking about it all the time because of how adamant you are about when he said this, but when they asked him about who's going to be the best players in 5 years from now, and he said himself and Wemby, like he believes that. I mean, he's playing like he believes that, which is, obviously driving on to winning a defensive player of the year and putting up these impressive games night in and night out, especially here in the playoffs now. Like he is going to be one of the top 2 players in the league. And it's incredible that he is well on his way there. He's
going to be on the Olympic team in his hometown representing the country in 2028. That's awesome. That's insanity. That's the coolest thing ever. Like literally what is cooler than that?
25, 26.
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry. Just kind of made me laugh there. Yeah. He was unreal. I thought Sam Merrill was really good tonight filling in for Garland. Sounds like the Garland thing, like they said, has just been precautionary. Fully suspect he'll be back for the next series. And then our guys, DeAndre Hunter and Ty Jerome, said, don't worry. You take your rest, Sam Merrill and Max Strus. We'll handle our thing. And they handled the damn thing. DeAndre Hunter, 19 points, 3 of 4 from 3. Ty Jerome, 18 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 of 5 from 3. And was, again, awesome. Did you see that clip from Dwayne Wade's podcast where they're talking about Ty Jerome?
Yeah, I did see that actually.
When they're like, he is effing cold. He is an effing baller. I loved it so much. It cracked me up.
those two are making it really hard for I would say the Cavs front office this coming off season. They're making it really hard to separate those two.
Especially because Evan Mobley just got a nice $45 million bonus.
Yeah, that hey, Dan Gilbert can spend his money however he needs to. It's not my money to spend.
Yeah, we'll have that conversation in the offseason. But it's certainly a pretty fun like strike of lightning. The only thing luckier than us starting a podcast this year is Ty Jerome and DeAndre Hunter being together, just kicking ass off our bench.
Exactly, and yeah, you got Hunter for the next 3 years. I mean, you're making it hard to separate these guys because they're playing unbelievably together, but also just individually putting up great performances. So yeah, it's been so fun to watch, and I keep trying to find a good nickname, but there really isn't one because they were the Virginia Cavaliers as well. It's not like the Nova Knicks or something. I'm trying to think of something.
That's true. That's true. I didn't think about that.
I'm trying to think of something, but I can't think of anything because they're the Cavaliers over in Virginia.
Yeah, well, they won a national title there, so they probably just want to get some more jewelry. That's fine with me.
That's all right with me. I love parades.
Yeah. I love this. Ty Curry is his nickname.
That's pretty good.
That's really funny.
Especially when he's hitting those buzzer beaters in the third quarter.
Yeah. My buddy Justin, JB, who is a frequent listener of the show, and he texts me and he's like, "Are you guys going to go live yet? This is at halftime." He's like, "I just need one more Ty Jerome TJ Maxx 3, and I hit my bet."
Nice.
And so yeah, I was like, all right, what a way to win it. So
yeah, what they're doing. I mean, I'll pose this question to you. How much does this game say to, let's just say the Pacers, because we're probably going to play the Pacers next. How much does what the Cavs did during this series, either scare the Pacers or what kind of bravado does this put off out there?
Well, I'm hearing Pacers fans a lot use the whole they beat them 3 out of 4 times, and really it's 2 out of 3 because that last game was stupid. It was unnecessary and no one played. But I'm not taking away from it. A win's a win, like we just said, that whole conversation we just had. But yeah, I mean, you got to go to Cleveland the first 2 games at least, and that's not a fun place to play for anyone. You do have the season advantage. I don't really take much stock into that. Miami beat Cleveland during the season in a game. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything to me.
The Hawks did it twice.
Right, yeah, and they're sitting at home. So, yeah, I don't really take much account into that. But what I will say is that if you're Indiana and you have played much better defense since the All-Star break, you have been really, really good on that side of the ball. And Tyrese Halliburton has really found himself again. So they're a really good team. Between the two, it's probably the team you wanted to play less, even with Giannis, honestly.
Yes.
But I do think that it's going to be a really physical series. It's 2 teams that kind of seem like they have a chip on their shoulder. Cleveland trying to prove that they are, as good as they have been in Miami. I mean, in Indiana, trying to say we belong in the same conversation with Cleveland, with Boston, which they do not.
No, they don't.
This is going to be a probably 6-game series. I really do believe that. I think that Indy's going to be able to get some games. They space the floor so well that it's going to give Cleveland fits. But at the end of the day, Cleveland's just much more talented. So I know a lot of people are anxious about this series. I'm not nervous just because I feel like just the way they stylistically match up, I have a hard time thinking Indiana's enough to beat them 4 times.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think the Cavs obviously have the better talent. I think the Cavs also are deeper in their roster. The only thing that really gives them fits is, Miles Turner being a traditional stretch big. He is one of the founding fathers of being a stretch big.
Sure.
And, the young, I don't actually think he's that young anymore, but lengthy and athletic type of big, and pairing that with Pascal Siakam, I think that 1-2 combo is kind of like the I know we're going to get hate for this, but like the dollar store version of Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley.
Man, you're really trying to get Pacers people mad at us, Skyler.
Well, whatever. I don't care. And so I think that's about the only piece that would really give them fits. But maybe it's just because I'm coming off this series. I feel good. I feel good about a 5-game series.
Okay, I hope you're right. But yeah, I'm looking at Indiana's like box score from last night, and I mean Halliburton was really good, 17 and 15 with 8 rebounds, shot the ball really well. Nembhard was awesome. Miles Turner was really good. They play pretty similar to the Cavs, actually. I did, looking at their depth. So they play about 8 guys, 20 minutes. Obi Toppin played about 15 last night, but I think part of that was just because they were up so big. Probably didn't really matter all that much. And of course, they got Johnny Furphy in there for 2 minutes. Shout out Johnny Furphy, Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Ben Shepherd played 20 minutes last night, only took 4 shots. He's a shooter. So I'm pretty shocked by that. And I mean, they're good defensively, and they have TJ McConnell, like Sydney said in the chat. He's obviously, the closest thing to Ty Jerome, I think is really fair. Like I think they comp to each other very well, and not just because they're white guys, just think like how they play and their roles. Kind of
their role is to be the pest. Like,
you
love them if they're on your team, but you absolutely hate them if you're going against them.
For sure. Because I don't see, especially with the news of Dame with his Achilles tear, they're down 3-1. Like, there's just no, this series ends tomorrow, which means this probably gets flexed up to Saturday.
Squeak it out once more.
If Milwaukee if Giannis can just go super Giannis tomorrow night in Milwaukee, because if they lose tomorrow, he's for sure going to be hearing a lot of trade rumors. That's going to happen, which I can't imagine. I don't know. They might. That might be the time when they go, look, dude, let's have a conversation. And it's okay. That's okay. I know Milwaukee fans don't want to hear that, but yeah, I mean,
if they do, they're going absolutely complete rebuild
for sure.
Like sell anything that's not bolted to the floor.
How long is Dame going to be out with this Achilles injury? Like when will they expect him to be back? It's going to be kind of a big conversation as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But as far as Indiana Cleveland goes, you say 5, I say 6. I think it's going to be a good series. I think Cleveland's going to win because they're a better team. But I do think there's going to be some really competitive games in there.
I agree. I think it likely will be like one of the better series out of the East for sure. Because I don't feel like a lot of the games haven't been too great. Other than, I mean, the West has been great because
I thought the Knicks business last night was really good defensively. It was really physical.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I think there's been good games, but I think like there hasn't been anything like the Clippers and Nuggets. Like that whole series has been.
That's been the best series so far for sure. Yeah, man. So I guess now we kind of sit and wait.
Well, while we sit and wait, let me share some of the favorites.
Yes, you had mentioned what it is. So I guess there was some talk that also, so we can get ahead of it so people know. I guess there was some talk that because game 1 was originally supposed to be Sunday, but there's talk that it could potentially be flexed up to Saturday if Indiana wins tomorrow.
I'd be all right with it.
Yeah, me too. Because I would like to go to the Reds game one of those nights. Which one of the fans will play? Yeah.
So I'll have you help me out. I'll let you know when you can add my screen to the
all right,
to the thing here. So I'm ready. Let me know when you can see my screen here.
Yeah, it's up.
All right. So here's just some of my favorites.
Are you able to zoom a little bit by
going on here? I do have it zoomed in. Do you want me to zoom in more?
Just a little bit. I have bad eyesight, so.
No worries. So it's from McNeil here, who's real active on the community over in X. But like Eric Spoelstra watching Kenny Atkinson do a coach's challenge when he's up 45 points.
That's incredible.
Another one from McNeil. The win probability was 99.9% in the first quarter. And then you just see the straight line the rest of the way. The biggest thing going on X for the biggest debate is who would win, 1 gorilla or 100 humans. and somebody posted in here, I take the Cavs versus 100 gorillas.
I like it.
And then Cavs and Heat already over after the first quarter. It's a guy holding a belt at the.
That's Pat Bev.
Yes, that is Pat Bev holding a belt on court side. Like as we said, this was a belt to ass game.
Yes, it was.
All right, you're gonna take my screen down.
I don't know. I was having fun with that.
Oh, I only had a few saved.
Yeah, so we got 2 Cavaliers tonight. So pretty awesome.
There we go. I mean, it felt like the whole game was a Cavalier.
Basically, yeah. When Javonte Green comes in and leads your scoring in the fourth quarter, that feels like a Cavalier to me.
Yeah, and he almost had a monstrous dunk on
I know. Yeah, it would have been awesome. I don't know, man. This is fun. I'm so happy that, again, all the respect in the world of Miami Heat for everything that they've accomplished in their history. It's not their time. For once, it's not their time. It probably will be again very soon. But right now, it's a transition period for them.
Absolutely. We'll see what their roster looks like next year. I think they have a ton of cap space too, so they could quickly right their ship around.
Oh, they got a lot of draft picks now because they traded Jimmy Butler too. So
they do, but
yeah,
obviously they're the Warriors draft picks, so they're not worth as much.
No, they're not. But hey, before we get out of here, I want to shout out, pay our respects to Kevin Love. Lost his dad, of course, and it was announced recently, and hadn't been with the Heat throughout the series. Was there tonight? There was a moment we saw him and Tristan Thompson kind of embrace. Thoughts and prayers with Kevin Love and his family. Obviously, his dad's a former NBA player, but man, been there. Absolutely sucks. So hope nothing but the best for Kevin Love, and really, want to make sure we just send our condolences for sure. So
forever a champion of our city, and forever grateful for Kevin Love and everything that he's done. So all the support in the world from Cavs fans.
Part of the title of our show. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to shout out Kevin and Marissa for having their child today, or hopefully today. They were induced today, so we have to follow up with him and see the latest there. But hopefully there's a new we got to get some block shot stop onesies.
We do need to do that. Yeah. I think that's a great idea. We should probably, and we're probably going to order some new shirts soon as well. So keep an eye on that as well. But hey, we're going to go and close this one out. I do believe we have something planned once we know who the Cavs will be facing. We'll try to hop on the mics and talk, do a little bit of a series preview. Maybe get, a guest over that's been on the show already. We're going to try for that as well. Thank you guys so much. What an excellent series. Be sure, as always, to follow us on your podcast app of choice. Subscribe to us here on YouTube if you're watching us live, or on Facebook as well. And check us out as we're really excited as we move on to round 2. On behalf of Skylar Webker, on behalf of Kevin Lynch, I'm Tim Daniel. Have a great night. And as always,
go Cavs.